two-time Patreon champion and 2022 Daddy nominee CSM chilling with Miracle the Cock Johnson Yakuza style.
Whatever.
I just got like super lightheaded. That's crazy.
You're almost there.
No, yeah, you're right. All right, now it's time to get into Impact March 29th, 2010.
TNA. Oh, hell yeah, Tony.
Yeah.
Well, let's take a look at what was going on in the wrestling world at the time. Not too much. 2010 is surprisingly not a super exciting year, but there was a couple things going on. At least it's stuff that I think you guys would be interested in enough. From the Observer from March 22nd, 2010, in TNA News, funny story of the week is TNA had all of its wrestlers go on Twitter to tell people to make sure to DVR Impact. Essentially, they're admitting that they can't get people to watch the show instead of Raw, the way it came across. The only one with a clue was Kevin Nash, who told people to DVR Raw and watch Impact Live, which is fucking genius. I don't know why they wouldn't tell people that as well.
That's hilarious. Wow.
Smart fucking guy. Also, this I didn't realize. I think we talked about this maybe during one of the last SGHs, but Andy Douglas announced his retirement after losing to longtime partner Chase Stevens. No, not Tony.
I was like, why'd you say my name?
It's Andy Douglas. Andy Douglas.
Is that like a related dude?
Tony, well, it's another one of the long lineage of Douglas.
One,
like
it's
Shane.
One
That's the new Chronic. 2023 Chronic.
Well, he lost to Chase Stevens in a cage match, and then he retired. I feel like we were trying to figure out what he was up to, but his final match was against Naturals partner Chase Stevens. Which
okay, cool.
That's cute. Yeah. Figure 4 Weekly from March 24th, 2010.
TNA sucks. Bad. Bad week.
Shockingly, I didn't actually see any of that from him around this time.
wow,
Maybe he was
really?
Desensitized because probably Raw and TNA, he was probably just having a bad fucking time.
March 29, 2010 Raw was probably the most legendarily bad show of all time.
We should probably look at it, though. I want to take a look to see what was on.
No, I don't need to. It's bad.
Dragon Gate USA sent out an email this week saying if anyone was having buyer's remorse about going to ROH over Dragon Gate for WrestleMania weekend, you could bring your ROH tickets to the door and turn it into a $20 off coupon for seats to Dragon Gate USA.
Oh, wow. Damn.
I didn't know they were doing shit like that. That's pretty fucking gnarly. Tony, you'll probably like this one. There was a funny incident in California this weekend when 4 local wrestlers, all wearing luchador costumes, went to a mall to promote a show, and people freaked out thinking they were masked robbers attempting a bank heist and called the cops. 7 squad cars pulled up, and cops got out with guns drawn and dogs barking before discovering what was actually going on.
That's awesome.
It reminds me of the dude the other week in the Cal costume running into houses with his car.
Tiny?
Hold up.
On April 28th in Jim Thorpe, PA, a wrestler from Clark Summit, PA, named Tiny went on a rampage dressed up like a cow and smashed his car into a house, and it took 20 state troopers to subdue him. It's not the first time he's done something like this. It's
Tiny the cow crashed his car
into a house and
20 state troopers.
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy.
I just wanted you guys to know that, have that info. I felt
you,
like it was
Tiny the cow,
unfair.
yeah.
I felt like it was unfair if I had that and you didn't have that knowledge. So.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Yeah, Tiny, do you remember his name? Oh my god,
Yes,
that's tremendous.
Tiny.
From the Observer from March 29th, 2010. So James had sent me a clip of Jersey All Pro the other day, and I wanted to bring this up because these are the shows that Jersey All Pro was putting on at the time. Jersey All Pro has a show on 5/22 in Rahway, New Jersey. Jushin Liger versus Teddy Hart was announced. They also ran Samoa Joe. In March, they ran Samoa Joe over Kazuchika Okada in a match where Joe got a crazy reaction. Also, Generation Me beat Teddy Hart and Jack Evans. Jersey All Pro had a crazy fucking roster. I feel like Jersey All Pro never gets brought up. Like, everyone talks about, CZW, PWG. Not that Jersey All Pro had like a crazy rockin' house or anything, but I feel like they were pretty influential.
Did they run
around
as
the time.
much as them?
They ran monthly, yeah.
Yeah, but like ROH was running
Sure, but
4
at least,
times a month sometimes.
CZW was only doing once a month too, and I think PWG also, right? So like,
yeah, but CZW also had like
the deathmatch shit.
crazy history of like crazy
Sure,
shit.
yeah,
PWG didn't get hot until 3 years later.
They were also
probably.
on the other side of the fucking country too.
Yeah,
so.
and when PWG was coming up too, like that was there was nothing on the West Coast.
No.
Yeah,
you're right.
Yeah, I mean, there's very minute reasons. I think especially
I can see why. Yeah.
during that period. But yeah, you're right. And like we watched that clip, and like it's just crazy looking back on. They had it all figured out with the camera work and everything too, like zooming in on the bumps and all that shit.
And they were around for a long fucking time too. I think they stopped running in like 16 maybe 20. I feel like it was a while before they stopped running shows.
Yeah, you're probably right.
And TNA news, Awesome Kong was released this past week. She had asked for and gotten several minor pay raises since she got there. She was asking for another 15% pay increase, and her timing of doing so wasn't the best because she had just attacked Bubba the Love Sponge. This time they turned her down, and she got a release.
I forgot about that.
Dude, I told you, I can never forget about that, ever.
Dude, I would have given her an insane pay increase for that.
If Jarrett and Dixie were still at top here and it wasn't fucking Hogan, Bischoff, and Dixie, it would have been way different. First off, Bubba the Love Sponge probably would have fucking been there.
He shockingly was, James. So much so that we'll talk about him tonight, sadly.
Yeah. The Bubba Army.
From the Observer, April 5th, 2010, in TNA News, Foley apologized for the forearm that smashed Bubba the Love Sponge's nose on March 21st, which I guess explains why he was looking at how he did on the show.
That
Foley
does not explain that, and nothing ever will.
I know some people will claim I hit him on purpose because of the Awesome Kong incident, but that is not the case. I spoke to Bubba the day after the deal and told him how I felt about this, and there had been a chance to discuss it on Bubba's show and write about it on the TNA website. So as far as I'm concerned, there was no problem. In WWE news, JTG was the winner of the annual THQ video game tournament that is held WrestleMania week. The tournament saw JTG beat Shad Gaspard, Jimmy Wang Yang, Hornswoggle, and Kofi Kingston. Video game playing has apparently declined because getting 16 people in this year's tournament was a struggle, so they had to use Ricky Steamboat, Dusty Rhodes, and Sergeant Slaughter in the tournament. Steamboat hit Jimmy Yang with a chop after losing to him. Meltzer writes JTG played as Randy Orton, which explains him beating Kingston in the finals. And Howard Finkel did play-by-play. When one of the wrestlers played as Jeff Hardy, Finkel would not mention his name and only mention him as JH. I'm assuming this was SmackDown vs. Raw 2009?
Yeah, probably makes
out
sense.
At this time? Yeah.
I'm like, what did he say fuck me for?
What, did they never film any of these? They were doing video game tournaments at WrestleMania and just...
They called it annual? Was this an annual thing? I don't remember.
It says
this
annual, yeah.
His offline challenge.
Yeah.
Offline only. Never filmed, never recorded, just wrote about it.
And last thing here from the Figure 4 Weekly from April 7, 2010. In TNA News, TNA sent out a deal offering 8 reasons to watch Impact tonight. Of course, they sent this out on Thursday when Impact wasn't airing.
Oh, really? But Dixie's a PR mastermind. Hello?
Tune in tonight for Impact. Well, there you go. That is it. And now it's time to talk about some Impact Wrestling now.
I don't need this garbage ring of yours anymore. Ah!